2,4-dinotrephonol. This is a drug, or poison rather, that cooks you alive. It's killed plenty before. And yet we have to talk about it because it's one of the best fat metabolizers out there on the market. It burns fat like no other. And the reason it kills people is because they're really stupid with it. I'd actually even recommend it if you know what you're doing. So let's get into it. Okay, so basically DNP is a drug that is legal in certain areas of the world. However, in other areas it's been banned, been used as a fertilizer and all this stuff. And basically, the way some people look at it is, yeah, it is a poison because your body rejects it. So after you stop taking it, some people, it doesn't happen often, but some people have allergic reactions. They get rashes, they start to feel a little bit ill. That's why Benadryl or other NSAIDs are sometimes recommended to those people. Also, Benadryl does help with sleeping, but I'd rather Phenibut for sleep problems. Basically, what DNP is, it's a non-steroidal solution for those bodybuilders or anybody who's got a little bit of excess fat. It's not too much. I mean, it could help if you have a lot of fat, but it pretty much speeds up your metabolism. It makes you sweat off your fat, and within a couple of weeks, you're looking back to normal or in better shape than ever before. DNP is a substance that, when taken carefully, it can help out with your cuts. It can actually do a lot of great things for you. But the reason there's so much stereotypical hysteria about this is because the average user of this is like, bro science, dude, yeah! And then they fuck up and die, so that's funny. Some people don't refer to DNP as a drug. Fuck it. Alright, let's say it's a supplement. It's a weight loss supplement here to make everybody happy, okay? So once you're taking this weight loss supplement that you may or may have not gotten from a sketchy source, because yes, the darknet does sell it. However, there's clearnet sites, but again, the legality varies, so it depends on where you're from. You're gonna have to do a little bit of research about this. Have I personally used it? Yes. That's why I'm making a video about it. Now, not every drug that I talk about on my channel I've used before, but still, I decided to do some personal experimentation, and this wasn't from when I lost like the 100 pounds of fat. That was without any weight loss supplements whatsoever. It was like, whatever. Fuck it. But this was kind of to see how it works, and yeah, it does work. It's pretty freaking good. Like, you can eat burgers and pizza and ice cream and technically not gain fat. If you want to. You shouldn't do that, but you can. So let's say you have 2,000 calories at your BMR, your basal metabolic resting rate, or whatever, fuck. Anyways, so you burn 2,000 calories when you're just sleeping in bed, right? You don't do anything for the entire day. You burn 2,000 calories, that's your normal rate. And if you take a certain amount of DNP, it's not anything too crazy because I've seen some crazy numbers out there. But let's say after a couple days you're taking 250 or 300, and then it's in the couple hundreds range. So your metabolism speeds up by 70%. So that is a decent amount of calories. That's another burger or 2 burgers and French fries or whatever it is, right? On top of your already 2,000 calories that you can eat. And if you don't eat anything, well, then that's fat that's just burned off. So yes, there's people that can go all the way up to a pound of fat burned off every single day. Now, if you combine DNP with other things such as caffeine, amphetamines, ephedrine, clenbuterol, then you get even better results. And then you could always go down the path of steroids. Personally, I've never used steroids, and I don't plan to use steroids. It's just, I don't really like needles. I don't want to deal with that. I just also kind of want to say I never did steroids. Although if you do steroids, that's 100% cool. You do you, bro, and I'm afraid of my balls and shit. There's a whole list of reasons. But anyways, DNP, clenbuterol, ephedrine, all that stuff, those aren't steroids. They're close, but they're not. So the thing with DNP is, if you're going to use it, here's basically your profile. Most likely you have an extra couple pounds of fat on you. And you're like, shit, you know, I tried dieting, I tried fasting, I tried exercising a lot. I tried a lot of things, but now I'm at a plateau. This really helps if you're at a plateau. Usually been exercising for a couple of weeks, the diet's been all good, everything's nice, but it's just like, what the fuck, it's going too slow. So this kind of speeds everything up. You get a little bit of ephedrine. The perfect mix is ephedrine and clenbuterol. You don't want to do them at the same time, but let's say you do 2 weeks of clenbuterol for the first 2 weeks of DNP, do a 3-week cycle of DNP, and then the last week after that you do ephedrine after the clenbuterol, because you can't do clenbuterol for too long. And let's say you start off with DNP at 200 milligrams and then move your way up to 400 milligrams. And, you know, of course, these are all numbers you should research by yourself. These are just examples I'm throwing out. But that's something you could try alongside a little bit of caffeine if you get headaches. You know, aspirin, that's the ECA stack right there, the ephedrine and caffeine and aspirin, all that later on. And if you combine that with a good diet, good exercise every single day, drink plenty of water, this is incredibly important. And let's not forget, you have to drink a fair amount of water. Hell, I'm ready to go swimming in it, dude. Get some supplements in, get your protein going, then you will be on your way to losing a lot of fat, okay? So DNP kind of fucks around with the mitochondria and ATP. I'm gonna, boop, just post that right up there because you guys can read that, because I feel like I'd screw it up. But yeah, so it messes around with the ATP, and that's why it's super, super good at what it does. It kind of changes a few things around in your body, but it does it in a way where it's, I mean, yeah, DNP is dangerous, but there's worse things out there. That's how I'm going to say. So if you're safe about this, then everything's going to be a-okay. Now, there's a whole list of side effects, and for the side effects, earlier I mentioned supplements. There's a lot of supplements. Fair amount of supplements. I think this is the most important, well, in my opinion, because I'm really scared for some reason about the eye cataract, so pyruvate. And then you got the usual vitamin C's and B's and E's and whatever the fuck that is, and potassium, that is like electrolytes. You got clenbuterol and ephedrine in the back if you want it. I'm going to post a couple links down in the description below. Basically, you're able to check out or read a little bit, and then you're going to have to do some research on top of that. But, you know, most of these supplements are pretty simple stuff like vitamin E and B and C and D, all right, stuff like that. But then you got to get glutamine, you got to get pyruvate, you got to get potassium, care about your electrolytes. It cares about some green tea extract, all that stuff. It just helps fix certain areas. For example, like DNP takes something out of your body, so you want something to replace that. Normally, you wouldn't need those supplements or vitamins, but since DNP's there, you want to make sure everything's running a-okay smoothly. You have no problems, because if you do have problems, that's where the side effects come in. Well, there's a whole wide range of side effects. So the main one you'll experience is because your body's running on stimulants pretty much. You will have trouble sleeping, at least for some people. So again, I mentioned earlier, Phenibut can help with that, or Benadryl, or maybe you drink a glass of milk, or you just fucking alcohol. Don't do that. I'm just kidding, because alcohol dehydrates you. And basically this title most likely is something a little bit clickbaity, DNP, the drug that cooks you alive. So a lot of the reason I most likely chose that is because I'm a marketer, and also a lot of other people choose to use that. And technically, like, yeah, it does cook your organs a little bit. It raises your body temperature, but doesn't actually cook you alive. There's a whole bunch of people who died from DNP, and this is because they were just retarded, okay? So it's mainly dehydration. It's similar to why people die from MDMA. You don't drink. DNP really sucks up a lot of shit, and you need to drink. So just drink every single hour and you'll be good. Don't drink way too much water, because then you will also die from that if you're drinking like 12 liters every 30 minutes. So just be careful about that. But again, the whole reports of, oh my god, a girl died from DNP. Well, yeah, it's because it's a girl, she's lightweight, and then she takes like 1,000 milligrams of DNP, which is insane. You shouldn't do that, especially if you're a little girl. Or there's people who took like 2,000, like, oh yeah, so there's people who die from drinking 20 beers. Yeah, I mean, duh, fuck. It's all about taking the right dosage, and on top of drinking water, not doing alcohol or other drugs, getting good exercise, sleep, diet, supplements. Also, you have to check out, you seriously have to research every single part of this, how much you weigh, how tall you are, And then from there, get a chart. Actually, I'm going to put it up here. So this is an example here. The numbers will vary based on your numbers. Again, I recommend, if you're a beginner, if you don't really want to do side effects, just do 200 milligrams, and you don't actually have to up it up to 400. And if you don't want to experience any weird stuff, just keep it at 200, maybe only do it for a week or maybe 2 weeks. But if you do go up, then compare it to these results, and DNP has a 36-hour half-life. Now, I do apologize, I should have put this earlier in the video. Fuck, I'm sorry, I'm going to make a comment about it. DNP has a 36-hour half-life, so not only do you have to care about the dosing once, but you have to care about it every single day because of the 36-hour half-life, it adds up. So even if you only take, let's say, 600, only 600 or 800, over a couple days, that's a couple thousand, and it does add up that point. And that is why people die, again, because they're stupid with it. So at the end of the day, it's really dependent upon a couple of things, and that's, have you done all your research? Are you healthy enough to take it? If you are you taking low doses on the daily? Did you get it from a good source? Is it all pure and everything? Because I doubt this happens often, but it could happen where it's not what it is. Do you have a good diet? Is everything under control? If yes, then again, this is a legal supplement, I guess, in some areas of the world. It was legal for me, that's why I decided to get it. Honestly, I haven't experienced any ill side effects. The only thing is, my recommendation is don't do it in the summertime because you're going to be sweating balls. So if you live somewhere where it's like 90 or 100 degrees, yeah, that's also dangerous, so don't do that. I'm not saying do it in the wintertime either because, you know, if it's like freezing outside or you're like sweating and then you get all fucking drenched and you're like, then, you know, you just gotta play it safe, kids. Best thing you can do it on days where you don't have to do anything. You're able to sit inside with a bunch of fans, you got the AC on, everything's fine. My personal experience with it is amazing. However, the only thing is I didn't use it during a cut. I ate a lot, and regardless of whether you eat a lot of carbs or not, the only main difference really is you sweat more. Some people are like, well, you gotta decarb before, and yes, they are right, but I mean, because in the end, the DNP is still doing a lot of work, so even though you can't see it and you can't feel it, it still is doing a shit ton down there underneath. So it's like, whether you eat a lot of carbs or not, don't worry about it. I got pretty good results. The only thing is, I am a binge eater, so, you know, no matter how much DNP you take, if you eat 10,000 calories, it's still not going to do that much for you. Although, it will make it a little bit easier because you will not gain as much fat, but still. The reason I wanted to experiment with it is, honestly, I wanted to just see how it goes. In the future, yeah, I might use it for a cut or something. I will be making a video about I made videos about how I lost my weight without any supplements and all that stuff. But I haven't made a video about my eating disorder and how it's like living with one. And I know this sounds really stupid. I've mentioned it before in the past that I don't have a problem with drugs, which is kind of strange from a guy running a drug channel. But again, you don't have to be like an addict or a junkie to be running a channel like this. You just have to be interested. I'm a nerd. I like researching drugs. But everybody has their poisons, and for me it's sex and mainly food. Mainly fucking food. That's how I was able to gain hundreds of pounds, and I lost hundreds of pounds, and I gained, and it's just like boop, 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 boop. The most I've ever gained, I think, was like 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and then, you know, you're able to lose it all again, and it's just like this back and forth. It's insanity. So we'll be discussing about that in a future video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'm sorry for the little bit of clickbaiting, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Feed the homeless children on Mars. Donate for cocaine just somewhere. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we'll be selling hats soon because I gotta buy more PCP.